if you dedicate the next 30 minutes to truly understanding what I am about to share, your financial life will turn a completely new page, or you will continue to be trapped in the spiral of debt for the rest of your life. Have you ever wondered why you work to the point of exhaustion, pray every night, but your bank account balance is always at a critical alarm level? The clock has just struck 2:13 a.m. The whole world is fast asleep, but your mind is screaming because of house bills, credit card debt, and nameless anxieties about the future. This is not merely a fault of inflation or poor financial management skills. Rather, it is highly likely that you are failing in a real spiritual battle to reclaim your own resources. My commitment to you is simple. If you follow this blueprint to the end, you will hold the key to sustainable prosperity. But if not, you may waste another 10 years of your life trying and failing in the dark. Let us temporarily forget the modern tech billionaires like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, because history once recorded a man who owned a fortune that made all of them look small when placed side by side. He did not build a software company. He did not speculate in virtual currency. But he created the most prosperous kingdom on the planet, using a supernatural design handed down from the Creator himself. For 3,000 years, the code of King Solomon has always been there, right before our eyes, surviving through every war and the most terrible economic downturns of humanity, while the whole world is crazily chasing fast wealth trends that wither after only one harvest season. These rules remain the path to a quiet and unshakable wealth. The mystery lies in the fact that millions of people still read his teachings every day but remain poor, simply because they view them as literary poems instead of applying them as practical operating protocols. The first secret, and also the most important foundation, is that wealth must always begin with wisdom, something Solomon considered a cornerstone to be sought at all costs. In the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7, he affirmed that wisdom is the supreme thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all you're obtaining, get understanding. Before dreaming of gold bars or a major promotion, you need to understand that heaven never asks how much money you want, but asks if you are willing to change your way of thinking. Money inherently does not change human nature. It merely acts as a magnifying glass that enlarges what you already have within your soul. If you are a careless person, more money simply leads to more expensive mistakes and more painful falls than ever before. When you possess wisdom, money transforms from a burden into a powerful tool to create influence and eternal fruits for the community. Many of us still pray every day for a financial miracle, but forget to pray for a mind that knows how to manage what we already have. The enemy of wealth does not necessarily have to take your money by theft. He only needs to keep you conservative, arrogant, and ignoring the laws of cash flow. A person without financial wisdom is like someone pouring water into a cracked jar. The more you pour, the more it leaks, and eventually, only exhaustion and deep disappointment remain. Therefore, the first step to unlocking Solomon's wealth gene is to stop chasing money and start chasing wisdom in every smallest decision. Spiritual deliverance can help you break the slave chains of the past, but only wisdom is strong enough to build a solid house against the storms. This leads us to the second secret, a very sharp but often forgotten weapon in the digital age, which is the power of silence and discretion. Solomon once taught that even a fool is counted wise if he holds his peace and does not flaunt what does not yet belong to him. In a society where every meal and every smallest intention is posted on social media to seek public validation, we unintentionally lose the necessary focused energy. Many projects fail not because of a lack of capital or talent, but because the leader announced it too early, causing the plan to be withered by gossip and envy from the crowd. Imagine a precious seed, If you constantly dig it up every day just to prove to the neighbors that you are planting, that seed will surely die. Quiet wealth requires you to have the ability to endure the darkness, so that your intentions can take root deep in the ground before reaching out to the sunlight. Keeping silent is not cowardice or hiding. It is a tactic to control energy and protect fledgling ideas from toxic atmospheres. When you work in silence, all your efforts are compressed, creating a terrible upward force when the right time truly comes. Never let the enemy know what you are building until your tower is high enough that no one can knock it down. That is the level of a master of the game, continuing the flow of wisdom. The third secret reminds us of a harsh reality. Working smart is always more important than just working hard blindly. In the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10, Verse 10, King Solomon used the image of an axe to illustrate a classic lesson on labor efficiency. If you use a blunt axe to cut down a tree, no matter how much strength you use, no matter how much sweat you shed, the result will still be extremely modest. You can be the person who arrives earliest and leaves latest at the office, sacrificing your youth for work. But if your method is outdated, you will still be poor. The enemy of progress sometimes does not use laziness to stop you. On the contrary, he keeps you so busy that you have no time to think. An inescapable busyness is a form of modern slavery, where people mistakenly believe that consuming time is synonymous with creating value. Solomon advises us to take the time to sharpen our axe. That could be learning a new skill, applying technology to production, or simply changing the workflow. 1 hour of silent reflection to find the optimal method can bring higher profits than an entire month of hard work following old, worn-out paths. The world in the year 2025 no longer has room for those who only know how to use raw muscle power. Ask yourself, has the axe you are holding in your hand been sharpened with modern knowledge and technology? Or are you still trying to cut down ancient trees with a rusty iron bar? Once you have wisdom and effective working methods, the fourth secret forces us to rethink the structure of security through diversifying resources. Solomon once gave classic financial advice. Give a portion to 7 or even to 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. This is not just advice on investment, but a core survival strategy to protect your family and kingdom against uncontrollable fluctuations. If your income depends on only one single source, you are putting your neck into a noose that someone else holds the end of. An economic crisis, a sudden downsizing decision, or an unexpected health event can wipe out everything you have built over many years. Diversification does not mean investing scattered without knowledge, but creating many bridges to lead water to your reservoir to ensure the supply never runs dry. A wise person will have a main job to maintain life, and, at the same time, develop side skills that can be converted into currency when needed. They understand that owning many different income streams is like installing multiple engines for a ship. If one engine fails, the ship can still continue its journey. In today's volatile global economic context, betting your entire future on a single paycheck is the most risky act a person can take. Start building the second bridge while the first bridge is still strong. That is the true mindset of a great financial manager. However, any massive financial structure will become soulless and easy to collapse if it lacks the fifth secret: generosity as a protocol to expand blessings. Many people mistakenly think that wealth is the result of hoarding and collecting as much as possible for oneself. But Solomon taught the exact opposite. One person gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give, and only suffers want. This is a paradoxical law of the kingdom, where generosity is not a lost expense, but an investment in the ecosystem around you. When you give with a sincere heart, you are creating bonds of gratitude, trust, and hidden opportunities that money cannot buy. Generosity breaks the chains of fear about lack, a psychological toxin that always whispers that you will never have enough. When you dare to give a part of what you have, you are affirming to the universe and to yourself that you are in a position of abundance. A truly wealthy person is not the one who owns the most, but the one who has the ability to give the most without feeling insecure about the future. Your generosity can save a life, open a path for someone, and according to the law of cause and effect, larger doors will automatically open before your eyes. Never wait until you have a lot of money to start practicing generosity, because kindness is a habit of the soul, not a number on a balance sheet. For the fruits of generosity and wisdom to last long. The sixth secret requires us to maintain discipline and consistency to an absolute level. Solomon warned that wealth gained hastily through gambling or deceit will quickly vanish like smoke. On the contrary, whoever gathers little by little, persistently through the years, with the patience of a farmer, will see their assets increase amazingly. We are living in an era of immediacy, where people want to be rich overnight and successful after one click. It is this impatience that has led millions of people into the traps of virtual multi-level marketing models or currency exchanges with no real value. Discipline is the anchor that keeps your financial ship from being swept away by the waves of blind ambition and lack of patience. It is you adhering to a strict budget. It is you setting aside a small savings amount every month, regardless of circumstances. And it is you saying no to luxury items when you do not have enough potential. Most people fail not because they are not given opportunities, but because they cannot endure the boredom of repeating the right habits. A tower 10,000 feet high also begins with small bricks, placed neatly and persistently every day. Sustainable wealth has no place for those who like to take shortcuts. It only belongs to those who understand the terrible power of compound interest and consistency in action. And finally, the seventh secret, the capstone that keeps the entire structure of your life from collapsing, is the fear of the Lord. This is not the fear of a slave before a master, but reverence, admiration, and the awareness that we are only stewards of the resources entrusted to us. Solomon affirmed that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all true wisdom in this world. If you build wealth without this spiritual foundation, your talent will soon become pride, and money will soon become a god that rules you. The enemy is very happy to see you wealthy, if that wealth makes you forget your roots and makes your soul callous to love. True prosperity, according to Solomon's gene, is a perfect balance between material wealth and peace in the soul. You can own all the gold in the world, but if you lose a good night's sleep, lose the connection with your family, and lose compassion, then you are still the poorest of the poor. The fear of the Lord helps you keep humility when successful and resilience when facing challenges, because you know that the real resource is not in the bank account, but in the one who gives it. A life built on this foundation will never be shaken by any economic crisis or political upheaval. It is a quiet wealth, authoritative and capable of being a legacy for many future generations without being worn out over time. We have gone through 7 core secrets to decode the prosperity of King Solomon. From wisdom, silence, smart work to diversification, generosity, discipline, and reverence. These are not empty words, but a system of protocols that has been proven through thousands of years of human history. Now is the moment of choice. Will you turn off this video and go back to your old anxious life? Or will you take one secret and start practicing it immediately? I advise you to start from the smallest things. It could be sitting down to make a clear financial plan, or it could be starting or starting to sharpen a new skill for your career. Never let fear or past failures prevent you from reaching the life you deserve to receive. Remember, deliverance can come in a moment, but to maintain prosperity, you need a journey of wisdom and self-discipline. I believe that each of you carries within you a seed of greatness. You just need to know how to plant and care for it according to the supernatural laws that have been revealed. Thank you for spending your precious time listening and accompanying me on this journey of discovering ancient wisdom. I wish you to soon find true freedom, not only in your pocket, but also in your own soul, so that every passing day is an experience full of blessing and meaning. Be confident and move forward. For Solomon's treasure is waiting for those who dare to believe and dare to act decisively